Hello and welcome to the Through the Pain podcast. This is a place for chronic pain and chronic illness warriors to dare, dance, and dream through the pain.
Hello and welcome to another great episode of the Through the Pain podcast. Today, I am excited because I have one of my sickle cell besties, just let you know that right now, Lena Harvey, also known as Lena Lavish, the Queen Warrior herself. Thank you, my darling, for joining me on my podcast.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I am beyond excited. I'm telling you, I have been sitting here all morning trying to regather myself after I took a little emotional, detour. And I'm just thinking about how blessed and lucky I am that I get to be surrounded by beautiful Black queens every day. On my timeline, it is just nothing but me and DIma, and then me, and then another 10,000 sickle cell queens out there.
Yes.
And this is not even getting to the kings, you know?
Right. We can't forget about Master.
We cannot. Okay, shout out. Okay, that's our boo. We are so blessed to have this sickle cell community. And so I'm happy and blessed to be here. I truly am. Truly.
Right.
Thank you.
So again, thank you for coming. I brought you on because you would be the best person to have this conversation. Mm-hmm. We are having a painful conversation, and it's an introduction to one of my new segments where we talk about sickle cell and we kind of get to the rooter and the tutor and just uncover so many things. And I wanted to talk about women and sickle cell disease, what we have to go through as women with sickle cell. So do you mind if we chop right into it?
Let's go in, honey. I'm
okay.
Ready.
So first things first, I've been seeing a lot of posts lately by experts. Mm-hmm. And one of this is an expert that I love, the hematologist. I forgot her name that quickly, but she's a hematology nurse practitioner. And she just posts, I'm going to put all her information in the comment notes, in the show notes for you, but she posts great, valuable information as it pertains to sickle cell disease. And it gets other people thinking. And, sometimes it gets me thinking too. But recently she posted about women with sickle cell disease in their menstrual cycle and how we are more prone to having a sickle cell crisis during that time of the month. And it's great information, it's valuable information, but I wish that information was out when I was given the talk about the birds and the bees, like a long time ago. Like, wait a minute.
A long time ago.
Why didn't we talk about this earlier? Why are we just now finding out about this? Mm-hmm. Because for me, since I was 13, ever since, mm-hmm. We couldn't swim in the water with sharks. Ever since then, we've been having issues.
Oof, painful issues.
And that's why it's a painful conversation.
Painful issues. And they don't want to talk about it.
We don't want to talk about it.
To hear about it.
Mm-mm.
Right? Like there's a certain amount of people, there's certain that just don't want to hear about it.
Right.
And I think that's why. It's like, first of all, y'all are late, because any woman will understand that anything going on in your body is going to be affected and affect your menstrual cycle. Like, right. A woman is a whole being, like a man is a whole being. And I think sometimes in our like patriarchal society, it's like we think like grandfathers. We are not grandfathers, okay? We're not any of those people. So I think like a human being. I am a woman. And if anything's going on, yes, your cycle is going to be affected by it. I don't know why it took this long for it to be news, apparently,
Yeah.
or
Uh,
discovery. Who
this,
discovered?
but remember, they just discovered sickle cell like 25 years ago. So
Woo!
just
Oh my
remember that.
goodness.
That shade. Was that shade?
I
Okay.
mean, it's the truth, and when it's the truth.
But I want to shout out Maya Bloomberg, the hematology nurse practitioner. You can find her on Instagram, the Heme NP. I just wanted to make that clarification. She's amazing and she does these great Instagram reels and videos educating people not only about other hematological diseases, got to get it out there, but she also primarily focuses in sickle cell disease. So shout out to her. Um, so she posted about that and she posted about brain fog. But I do want to get back into my question for you was, what is it like for you as a woman with sickle cell disease, especially as it pertains to that time of the month?
Mm-hmm. So when so just having sickle cell, I feel like, so I was born in 1985. Okay, guys, that's a while.
80s baby, 80s baby. Okay.
We in here.
We in here, we in here.
I was born in 85, and when you are of, our generation, it feels like there were so many things that were just not spoken about among Black, family members. Like there are
Right.
just certain holes that were there where it's like nobody really knows how to deal with this, so we're not going to talk about it. And that really wasn't healthy for me, because a chronic illness is something of its own. When you have something chronically wrong with your body, where it's a constant thing, I wasn't prepared to. No one told me that I was gonna be like a late bloomer, right? Like no one. I could have maybe used that. I could have used that tidbit of information, because I was over here waiting, like, okay, so and so got her period. Okay, girl, and back in the day, your kids, it's all new and different. And this was before the internet. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I just was waiting and waiting, right? And now I had already had a pretty challenging time with my sickle cell up until then. But at this point, compared to what it was about to turn into, when my cycle did get fully going into effect, girl, I had no idea. I was not prepared. And so immediately, I mean, when I finally did get my cycle and it started, and I just thought, okay, this is not what I was expecting. This is that and a whole lot more. It was debilitating for me. It was completely debilitating. My cramps were so bad that I couldn't sit up straight.
Mm. Mm-mm.
I couldn't, my body was curled because the menstrual cramps were so bad, so severe,
Mm-mm.
that my body, so how I'm supposed to be sitting up at a desk riding on a school bus every month?
Mm-mm.
I couldn't stand up. I would have to. So yeah. So basically, it turned into like, okay, this is not good. And then as the couple of years went by, it started turning into, now it's causing me crises.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna be hurting. I'm gonna be in crisis like every time. Oh no, no. So I did not last very long before I had to seek birth control methods, because I could no longer afford the wear and tear it was putting on my body every month. I couldn't
Right.
afford
And for me, I was on birth control rather early
it.
myself.
Yeah.
And then the shot makes you fat.
Don't get the shot. Don't get the shot. Don't get
So
the shot.
the
That's all
shot,
we heard, right?
yeah, the shot makes you fat. The patch makes you crazy.
Yeah.
The it's the things that we do to ourselves.
Yeah.
to control our hormones in our
Yeah.
reproductive system, and on top of having sickle cell disease is a complete
Mm-hmm.
nightmare. It was to the point being pregnant was a relief.
Yes.
Girl,
Yes.
when I got pregnant with my first son, my first child, I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
I don't have to be like in pain all the time like that.
Feel like that. I felt cushy, like I had
Yeah,
little coat or something on. Like, yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
It
Absolutely.
felt great. A little
Yeah.
burst of energy.
Oh my gosh.
It was so
I
great.
then I remember, I'm pretty sure I needed a couple of transfusions like over the course of several years because I felt like I was just being drained of my blood, my life force. I'm like, y'all, I understand that my period is a thing and that it's happening and that I have to make sure that I am, keeping bodily inventory at all times. But like, that's enough without the added thick layer of pain, and then the horrible cramping, and then my moods. That's a whole different situation.
I don't want
That was a whole different can of worms.
I don't want to talk about mood because I end up like the bad guy. I don't want to talk about it.
When you end up feeling like or becoming like when you in your mind you tell the story like what had happened was, and then you're like, wait, am I the villain? Like that's when okay. So yeah, I was diagnosed with PMS in college, like real PMS, not that like, middle school, I ain't got some PMS thing. It wasn't like that. I had you check all these boxes. And so that took me on another, branch, so even besides the physical aspects of it all, it's like, of course, a sickle cell warrior is going to be affected by her cycle, and it's going to have its own effect.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is, but I'm not sure if the novelty about it is that I don't think people understand, even no matter scientist, doctor, no matter if you're looking at sickle cell up close or if you just hear about it, in passing, people should understand that anyone living with a chronic illness and a chronically painful illness, our lives are not like normal people's lives. Our lives are not like that. Our lives are completely revolving around keeping us alive.
That's true.
Preservation,
Mm-hmm.
elongating the years of your life,
Right.
making the most of the moments that you have.
Right.
Because they're not guaranteed, and the devils come for my time and time again.
Oh
He
yeah.
comes for my time, and I have to reclaim my time, you know what I'm saying, time and time again. And so like that's the type of life that a warrior lives.
Yeah. You're preaching to the choir. You are so preaching.
You
You're preaching to the
you
choir. So what I just wanted to know though, what are the methods that you're using now to deal with your PMS? Are you still on a birth control regimen?
So that's forever ago. So yeah, for a while in the beginning, it was very much just, I'm going to take this pill, right? I mean, I was young, so you're just learning the discipline that it takes to take a pill, especially at the same time every day, which is just baffling to some people. So that definitely taught me discipline early on. And then as I got older, of course, my husband and I've been married for a long time. My husband and I, were planning our family and trying to figure out what we wanted to do. And all of that I had to take into consideration besides my health. Anytime when I first started like taking the pill and like the next time I changed my next method of birth control, I was still having like some cyclical symptoms that were almost like phantom or like background, right? So even if I, you know what I'm trying to say, even if like it quelled the symptoms of like the cramps way down, like I could sit up straight, I wasn't having those crazy headaches. I could, I was more motivated to, be aware of my moods. I was like, those are the good things that were happening from me just taking the pill. And so, of course, I had my child. I had Jackson in 2012. And after that is when things change because, now I'm a mom. When you become a mom, now you're looking for like, look, I don't have much time. I got things to do, places to be, I got kids to pick up. So let's just do this. And so I definitely decided to get an IUD after that. Because I figured I was going to need time. My body was going to need time to rest, to like recalibrate itself after birth.
Yes.
And I was right. And so that gave me at least like 5 years of not having to really think about having much of a cycle anymore. So after my son, not only were the symptoms quelled, but now my cycle is now irregular and super light.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes and then I'm like, oh, it's here. Oh, it's gone. Like that.
Oh, that's amazing.
It's been a much better situation than what was going on prior to Jackson, because that was taking me through it. I was still going through it, even though I wasn't being hospitalized, for the crises that would come from it anymore. So I've progressed in kind of an upward, like, okay, it's getting better, so that's where I am still right now. I barely really even think about my cycle these days. Honestly, the only time I really know is if I'm having some of that ovulation pain, like in the middle of the month, where like you'll get some of that, like, oh, what's that sharp pain? It's one of them eggs trying to,
Mm-hmm.
can I come out? And you're like, nah, we good. Like, I'm good right now today. You don't really have to, but sometimes I'll have that. But my sister actually said that pain goes away if you just drink enough water. And I was like, oh, maybe I was just dehydrated. So yeah, now I just drink water all the time.
On that note, I'll take a sip and
stay hydrated.
Stay hydrated.
Hydration
is key. All right, so I'm gonna switch gears. We're not gonna talk about blood anymore, and we're not gonna talk about our menstrual cycle the whole time.
Yeah.
We want to talk about other issues that affect us as women with sickle cell disease.
Yes.
You mentioned being an 80s baby, and I was gonna dedicate a show to this, but I just want to ask this question.
Yeah.
What was it like being an 80s baby with sickle cell disease? What was your experience like?
Oh my gosh. My experience was, I remember being hot and tired a lot. I remember being hot and tired a lot. Okay. But I also remember feeling a lot of love heaped on me by a lot of family. I think because that's Lena, and then also that's our sickle cell baby. Like the whole family, I could always feel that, that love. But yeah, I remember feeling very like the odd one out early on because I just simply couldn't do as much physical stuff as it took to be a kid. I mean, kids bounce all over the walls all the time. And then you look over, the kids are in the classroom jumping up and down. Then the camera cues over to the corner, and Lena is over there like, head is down on the desk, napping. She's taking a nap. She's using this time that the kids are playing. Playtime is nap time. Nap time is nap time. Playtime is nap time as well. Y'all going out for recess today? You sure? I don't know. Lena says it's looking a little dreary out. Maybe not. Can I just go to the library? I would stay in the library. Sleep. Sleep. Get that. It was very exhausting for me. The chronic fatigue doesn't go with childhood. It's like, man, I missed out on so much. I would push myself too early on and end up in a crisis. And you don't do that a lot. You learn early, like, oh, I'm not about to be out here risking my life because y'all want to play freeze tag all day in the hot sun. No.
That sounds very familiar.
It was full of love and it was full of love and it was full of excitement, but I was always peering from like really far away. That's what my childhood felt like. Was like I'm behind the gate looking at the baseball game because I'm too tired to play.
Right.
And I might end up in the hospital, so I'm not gonna risk it.
Yeah.
Plus, I mean, it's me. I didn't really want to get dirty. I didn't get too dirty.
You were bougie back then. Go ahead, girl. Queen back then. All right. For me, I remember trying to fit in so much so that I'd throw myself into crisis and be that kid that's in the hospital. So yeah, I understand that. I would try to climb trees. I would try to do the most, play kickball with everybody. And be laid out. The naps though, nap time was my favorite subject.
Yeah. See, now you sound like my son, because we asking him, what's your favorite subject? He's talking about lunch. What?
Yeah, man after my own heart. Like lunch and nap time.
I could not even disagree. I couldn't say anything back. I was like, dang, he got me. I played myself. I get it though, man. I mean, I took so many naps. There is a Polaroid picture. Okay, now I'm really showing my 80s baby age. I have a Polaroid picture of myself in my Christmas sweater with the, with the jingle, with the ribbons, all that ugly mess. This is back before it was a cool, trendy thing. This is not one you could buy at Walmart. This is an original ugly Christmas sweater, circa 1989. Right? I'm wearing that skirt and I'm passed out in the middle. It's Christmas Day. Everybody is having fun up. Lena is asleep. Like sleep. Not like, oh, she's napping. No, like loud music party happening. I was asleep. Knocked out. I've spent so much time of my life sleeping. I think that's why I'm everywhere at once right now, because now I got a little taste of freedom. And now I'm awake actually. I mean, even before like this time, like last year, I was sleeping like the majority of a 24-hour period. Like I would sleep for 10 hours overnight. And then I would take like a 4-hour nap during the day, and then maybe like another nap in there somewhere. Sometimes I would pass out at like, I don't even know, like the mid, like dinner time, and just be gone until the next morning. And I'm like, what day is it, y'all?
Right.
What y'all been doing?
And this newfound energy is because of something that you're doing now that's different. Okay.
Yeah, I've had so many changes, positive changes over the last year. I mean, I'm one of those people that I want my healing by any means necessary.
Right.
And I've always been willing to go to the place or do the thing or call it whatever it is I have to do to seek another chunk of my healing, of my cure, because to me it's like, yeah, there are, very direct routes to getting a bone marrow transplant or things like that where you can pursue and but I'm the type of person that I need to be wholly healed. I need to be healed wholly.
Yeah.
And I appreciate anything that brings me that. And so I am one of those people that lives by taking Oxbryta. I started taking that, and it woke me up like Sleeping Beauty. I went from laying flat on my mattress every day, crying, feeling like I was planning, my funeral, feeling hopeless after the pandemic and losing, hurts and just all kinds of stuff. Like it was low like that. That was that I'm still, processing, but that was a moment where I just, I struggled. And so, and really going through a lot of this, like alone, like not alone, man. I have a great support system, but I kept a lot of the deep emotional, parts of it to myself. But since then, like I said, I started taking that medicine, and it was something about that in combination with the hydroxyurea that really helped to unleash my
Wait, you got the wait, Tom, you got the book. Stop playing. Wait, sorry, I spazzed out, y'all. I had a moment.
to unleash.
Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
My my true self underneath those thick layers of pain and fatigue. Like it drastically reduced my daily pain, my chronic fatigue. It like those were the two biggest things that I could not get past. And so what's been mostly different from me when people are like, what's going on with you? You look different, is because I feel better. And because of that, I don't take pain meds anymore.
That's amazing.
So I'm actually here and present with you. I'm here and present with you all
Mm.
online and in the world because I am not medicated. I'm not sedated. I'm not trudging through life like it's thick mud up to my waist.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. That is amazing.
I'm so blessed. Okay, now I just got this book. It's called Unleash Royalty. It's by a wonderful queen who, is clearly one of my role models. Okay, her name is DIma and she look beautiful.
On the book, that's makeup.
It don't matter, honey. Oh, you look. I highlighted in here. I said, oh, that's where she get that bone structure. Jamaican and Nigerian. She hit the jackpot. Dang. Okay. I ain't finished it yet, but girl, I already know it's gonna bless me because I just got here. I just got here. So every time I see you, every time I see Cass, every time any of my girl, I'll be like, yes, if they can do it, so can I.
Yes.
I will grab my healing by if I could just touch
the hem of his garment. Yep.
Of his garment. That's the kind of experience I've been having. And so that's why I'm floating on air and trying to spread a little bit of love because we're lacking on compassion in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Lena, you're dope. You're dope. Where can my listeners find you, Lena?
Well, I am mostly on the Facebook Meta, Lena Lizette Harvey. I am also mostly on Instagram at Lena Lavish 100. That's where I really put my personality into, art. That's where I just like to share how I'm feeling inside, but in a way where you can look at it up close at each picture, or you can just scroll and get a good dose of color in your life, and
very colorful, by the way.
move on. Yeah, see, that all happened. That's new. If you go back before, if you scroll, you'll see the way I was looking before.
Tired, yeah.
Laying down all the time. You know what I'm saying? And now
Wait, she's not lying, y'all. She wait, time out. There's like a whole 3 rows of her posted up, like laid down, like in the bed.
In the
bed, chair, in the bed, sofa.
Yes.
Oh, she's up for that one. Pillow, laid down. I get it.
That's real. All of that is real. So that Instagram is where you can see my story real quick and see, oh, something happened over here and this looks, better. And then I am also a writing contributor now to a website called sickle-cell.com. And that just happened, recently, and that's been an amazing experience. So people will be looking forward to seeing some articles from me, my perspectives and just things like that. That's an awesome community. I'm trying to get everybody on there because there are so many great resources from warriors from all over, not just here where we are. And then I am also, oh my gosh, I'm also
you're on YouTube. You're forgetting.
I'm on YouTube.
She's on bread. How are you forgetting your stuff?
I'm on YouTube, right? So Lena Lavish, the Queen Warrior herself, that person was born when I sprang up out of the bed last year. I woke up, I opened up all the windows in the house. I looked at my husband, I said, honey, have I not been like complaining about my pain? He's like, no, not really. I'm like, oh my gosh, because that was a daily thing, before. And so ever since then, I'm like, oh, I've forgotten myself. Let me reintroduce myself, because I now can be her. And so that's really what is going to be showcased on my YouTube channel. Please come by. I promise I have things coming soon. My video is being edited as we speak. And so, it has been such a wonderful journey, and it is just the beginning, apparently it's just the beginning. That's what I've been told.
Yes, I see great things for you. So again, thank you. You won't come back. We're gonna come back for a joyful conversation.
Yes,
we're gonna talk about some other great things that are happening. So thank you, Lena Harvey, aka Lena Lavish, the Queen Warrior herself. Thank you for being on the Through the Pain podcast. And I'm gonna send all my followers to you. Most definitely.
Thank you so much, Nima.
For tools, merchandise, and additional information, log on to our website, www.throughthepain.org. This has been a Public Praise Media production.